Hi, very good morning to all of you. Yes. Hi, very good morning to all of you. Yeah, give me confirmation about audio and video clarity, then we can start our discussion directly. Thank you, Prashant. Hello, very good morning. Yes, very good morning to all of you. Yes. Now, okay, we can start our discussion now. CMA into paper number 7, I think you know already. That is an taxation. Part A, direct taxation. Part B, indirect taxation. First 2 minutes, we can go with the paper analysis. Yeah. Section EA is nothing but question number 1. Is an always MCQ only. So, section A, section B, 2 sections we have. First question number 1, 15 MCQs, each one 2 marks, entire 30 marks. It is a compulsory question. Usually, every attempt, we are getting 7 MCQs from direct taxation, the remaining 8 MCQs from indirect taxation. And the one thing you have to observe, in some occasions, they are given 6 MCQs only from the direct taxation. You have to prepare for that also. So there is no fixed weightage between the direct tax and indirect tax. 4 to 5 marks are always will vary. Don't think about it. Okay. Next. Usually, if I am comparing the past examination trends, yes, 7 to 8 MCQs also we can get, 6 to 7 MCQs also we can get. Next. So section B is in descriptive part. Question number 2, question number 3, question number 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So total every question weightage is in 14 mark. Within that they can give that combination of 7 plus 7 question. That means question number 2, A 7 marks, B 7 marks, like till question number 8 they are given the 2 7-mark questions within that. Okay. Sir, how many questions we can get from DT, sir? Question number 2 to question number 5, definitely we can get from direct tax. So in indirect tax, we have only 3 questions. That's why they are given the more weightage to that MCQs for indirect tax. So that means if you are open your question paper, definitely question number 2, 3, 4, 5, always from direct tax only. So MCQs related first 7 MCQs also from direct tax only. Sir, these descriptive questions, they will give you the total descriptive questions 7. Out of the 7, if you write 5, that's enough. The 2 questions they are given it as a choice. So this is a huge benefit for the CMA students. Yes, remember, what is that point, sir? If you are just written the 5 questions out of that 7 descriptive questions also, okay. So further, after the completion of the some chapters, I will tell you what is the combination questions also. but directly we can start with the direct tax related revision. Within 1 to 1.5 hour, we can complete the entire discussion. Listen carefully. So you know meaning of tax. I will go in a speed manner because of this is a revision session. Don't think about it. Yes, if you are unable to understood any point also, just ignore it. And after that live streaming ends, yes, definitely this session will be in YouTube only. If you have any doubt with respect to that one point, yes, you can come back and you can watch only. But so go with that faculty so go with the faculty flow. If you are unable to understood any point, yes, ignore, then after you can follow up that point. Yes, so first I want to tell you about the taxation introduction. So then after we can take the yes direct taxation related part. So what do you mean by the tax? First of all, if okay, not for examination point of view, just we can start the total taxation discussion. Tax means a fees or amount charged by whom? Government. So now I haven't doubt, sir, tax is a mandatory payment or voluntary payment? Remember, tax is a mandatory or obligatory payment. It is not a voluntary contribution. Example, I want to give the donation to the one charitable trust. That is an absolutely voluntary only. If I want, I can give. Otherwise, I will not. But remember, yes, if you want to make the payment of tax, yes, definitely it is a mandatory payment, or it is a mandatory or obligatory payment. So here I want to talk about this, sir. What do you mean by the government? Sir, here tax is a mandatory fees or obligatory fees or amount charged by government. Sir, what do you mean by the government here? Yes, Varsha, very good morning, ma. Yes, government means central government, state government, local authorities. Many of you know central government, state government, but I want to tell you what do you mean by the local authorities. That means local self government less than the state government. So top government is central government in our India. So then state government. Within the state government we have a local self governments, that is only called as local authorities. Yes, the first one, yes, we can say corporate level, city, that is in corporations. Second one, municipality, town level. Third one, panchayat, that is at village level. That is at village level. Now, so I want to take you Constitution of India. Yes, Constitution of India, that to some extent only. Remember, yes, in Constitution of India we have an article numbers same as like our act having sections. So our act having some section numbers like that only. Definitely we have an article numbers in the Constitution of India. No need to read entire Constitution of India, but we have to refer the two article numbers with respect to the taxation introduction. First article number MCQ important point 265. What is that article number 265 says? So if you want to collect the tax, if you have a proper support from the law, then only you can collect the tax. What is that? No tax shall be levied unless an authority of law. That means if you have a proper support from the law, then you can collect the, yes, then you can collect the tax. Next, sir, then how to frame these laws? So that's why we want to take the one more article number 246. Yes, article number 246 says that, yes, parliament or state legislature, that means in parliament we have an MPs, in state legislature we have an, that means in assembly we have an MLAs. So both MPs and MLAs, that means central government as well as state government, have an power to make the laws. That means these two articles are linking only. Article number 265 says that yes, law is required for collecting the tax. Article number 246 is nothing but central government and state government have an power to make the laws relating to collection of tax. Now, so now we can take the article number 246 of Constitution of India. Yes, so in article number 246, so if you are open the Constitution of India, we have an what articles. So one of the article you can open article number 246. within that seventh schedule, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like seventh, you open the seventh schedule that contain how many lists ma? 3 lists. That contains how many lists ma? 3 lists. So can you tell me that list 1 or union list, list 2 or state list 3, or we can call it as a concurrent list. So practically also, if you are open that Constitution of India in article number 246, what is that? 7th schedule, it will containing the 3 list. Yes, first list 1, list 2, list 3, totally you can open. Yes, so we have a name of laws which are already framed in past. So list 1 we have in many laws. List 1 we have in many laws. So why it is called as a list 1? Because these are all laws are framed by the parliament. That is only we can call it as central government level. List 2, yes, whatever the state governments are there, if any law framed by the state government in past, that laws names are contained in the list 2 or state list. Yes, both the state legislature and the parliament can make this some laws. With respect to these are all the laws names will be placed in the third list, that is in list 3 or concurrent list. Remember, our Income Tax Act 1961 is nothing but framed by the central government. So that's why it having the place in which list ma? List 1 or union list. Sir, what is that entry number? So every law after entering into this list, entry 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So like Income Tax Act 1961 entry number is yes 82. So it is a very important MCQ. Definitely don't ignore even one point also from the revision series. Definitely you will get one direct MCQ. What is that entry number? 82. How it will work out as a flow, I will tell you. Entry number 82 of list 1 or union list of 7th schedule to article number 246 of Constitution of India is given the power to collect the income taxes. Again I am saying point number entry number 82 of list 1 or union list of 7th schedule to the article number 246 of Constitution of India is given the power to collect the income taxes. Now next, what is the purpose or objective behind the collection of taxes? Remember, yes, government is collecting the tax from the public. Definitely. Okay. For what purpose? That also will be utilized for public only, but objectives means social objectives, one thing. Second one is an economical objectives. Social objectives means, I think you know, so some goods can be given to that subsidy, given to the public at subsidy. So that is an, yes, we can say power or nothing but rice, etc. So they can give the grants or power to the farmers also. Economical objectives means for development objectives like road construction, dams, railways or water irrigations like defense. I think now you can realize which is the most important thing in our present economic situations. Clear ma? Yes, give me confirmation. What are the objectives for collection of tax ma? Social economic objectives. So nothing but here we can say government is just acting as a mediator, collecting the tax also from the public and they are utilizing it also for public. So next, sir, how many types of taxes are there? Now I am talking about the tax. Now I am talking about the tax, not direct tax. So just general taxation we are talking. From these also you will get MCQ. So two types of taxes we have. One is a direct tax, second one is an indirect tax. So direct tax, indirect tax differentiations, they are given last 2 or 3 attempts once for 7 marks. That's why don't ignore. Direct taxation as well as indirect taxation differentiation you will get for the 7 mark yes theory question. Remember, yes, first one. So what do you mean by the direct taxes? I will tell you. Mr. A earned the salary amount. So he earned one income. So on that income he is only paying the tax to the government. So here payment of tax is done by whom? Mr. A. So definitely the burden, that means yes, if any one person is paying that amount to others, having the some painful feeling, so that burden also will be lies in the hands of Mr. A. Now I will tell you, yes, what definition in this one type, payment and burden. What is that? Payment of tax done by Mr. A. Burden also will be in the hands of Mr. A. So payment and burden in the hands of same person is called as what ma? Direct tax. Is called as what ma? Direct tax. So I can say one more way, tax collected on income earned by a person, the tax is called as direct tax. The tax is called as what ma? Direct tax. Now, so one of the example of direct tax is wealth tax only. As of now, in final level, I will tell you one more type of tax, but now it is enough. Please remember, only one type of tax is there for example purpose, that is an income tax. Direct tax example, that means, sir, what is the tax we are collected in the form of direct tax? Only income tax. That is only our act. We have to learn that only. So next one, indirect tax. I will tell you one example. Mr. A purchasing the one Lux soap from the company. He is paying that, yes, 40 rupees, but 38 rupees for the product and 2 rupees tax he is paid. But who are collecting the tax from the customer ma? So Lux company. But they are paying that amount to the government. Who are paying ma? Lux. Now payment is done by the Lux, but payment is done by the Lux. Payment of tax to the government is done by the Lux, but ultimate that is a burden is in the hands of Mr. A. So that's why I will say payment of tax. Next, burden is not lies in the hands of same person. Previously, both the things are lies in the hands of same person. So that is a direct tax. Yes, if the two things are not lies in the hands of same person, that is called as indirect tax. So simply we can say tax collected on supply of goods or services, that is nothing but what ma? GST. Supply of goods or services. Next one ma? Import and exportation of goods or services is called as what ma? Customs duty. So example of indirect taxes is called as what ma? Customs duty. So anyway they can ask, that's why first remember these definitions. Then after you can remember the definition in the payment and burden point of view also, and examples, yes you can. Next, some more differences I will tell you. Meaning you can write ma. Example also you can write. I think meaning you can write in 2 point of views. I think you know what are the 2 point of views ma. First is an income earned by a person, importation and exportation and supply of goods point of view. Then after payment and burdens in the hands of same person, payment and burden in the hands of different person you can write. And one more very important MCQ point of view, I want to tell you, yes, listen carefully. Direct tax is an progressive nature. Yes, I think in your MCQ booklet also you can see this ma. Direct tax is an progressive nature based. Sir, what do you mean by the progressive nature? I will tell you. Sir, if you are rich, I want to collect the more and more tax from you. If you are poor and you are having the just 1 lakh income, I don't want to collect the tax from you. So there is a clear differentiation between the rich and the poor is there. So that's why we can say it is a progressive based nature. So indirect taxes is called as an what ma? Regressive based nature. There is no difference between rich and poor. There is no difference between rich and poor. Example, yes, here if you are observing that a rich person is purchasing the soap also, he will pay 2 rupees tax. A beggar, if they are purchasing the soap also, they are required to pay 2 rupees only. So that's why remember, yes, it is a progressive nature, it is a regressive nature. There is no difference between rich and poor. There is no difference between rich and poor. Very important. Definitely you will get 2 marks MCQ or 7 mark question. Next, I think you know in direct taxation, example income tax, yes, we can consider the age factor. Below 60 years, basic exemption limit is 2,50,000. Above 60, below 80, I think you know, yes, 3 lakh. More than or equal to 80, yes, you have a basic exemption limit of how much ma? 5 lakh. So always in direct taxation we can consider the age factor, but remember in indirect tax we cannot consider the what ma? Age. We cannot consider the age. Remember, if a minor purchased also the same tax they will collect. If a senior citizen also same price they will collect. There is no differentiation of what ma? Age factor with respect to the indirect tax. So just give me a confirmation up to now. As of now, I am given the yes general introduction to the tax. Out of this, definitely you will get one MCQ. Yes, otherwise they can give the question of an direct tax versus indirect tax differences also. Yes, give me confirmation about understanding up to now. First of all, audio and video clarity is there. I think very good morning to all of you. Next, ma. Super. Yes. Now we can start our exact thing. Basic concept chapter. Yes, remember. So I will tell you the theory from my notes. I will share the soft copy of these notes also to the Telegram group. And in the link in this video description, you will get the Telegram link. Yes, you can join. After that, we need to solve the questions from the, yes, some questions we can solve from the ICMAI study material directly. So how to solve the practical questions, sir? Okay, theory na, then we can do from your theory material or handwritten notes. That's enough, ma. Then we can do the questions from. We can do the questions from. Yes, the first one we can do some important questions from the ICMAI yes study material. And next, we can use the ICMAI recently released workbook. And okay, yes, this is a very important source for upcoming examinations. Definitely, you have to solve that each and every question from the workbook. That's why I want to solve that every question from the workbook. Nearly we have 124 pages. Automatically the past examination questions and ICMI study material questions also covered here. You also need to study this workbook. If you are not having enough time, first prepare this theory, then after workbook you will get exemptions. Along with that indirect taxes you will get exemption. Don't think about, sir, my friend is reading one book, sir, is having that many questions. No need to have many questions. First learn the concept, after that apply that concept on this workbook. That's enough. Okay, that's enough. You have to take the xerox of this. If you are not able to find it out in the institute website, message me in a Telegram group. I will share as a soft copy. Now exact our basic concepts chapter we can talk. Now I think already this discussion is over. You, if you haven't clarity about the taxation introduction, the types of taxes is direct taxes and indirect taxes. Yes, sir. If tax collected on income earned by a person is called as an income tax, sorry, direct tax. One example for the direct tax is income tax. Can you tell me who are collecting this tax, ma? Central government. I think you know already it is framed by the whom income, that means Income Tax Act 1961 is framed by the central government in union list. That's why who can collect the tax, ma? Central government only can collect the tax. Now, so in indirect taxes, we have two examples, GST and customs duty. If anything is collected on supply of goods and services, that is an goods and service tax, that is an one type of indirect tax. Here, both the persons can collect, that is, an central government and state government can collect the GST. So I think you know CGST, SGST, this one only. And if any tax is collected on exports and imports, it is called as what customs duty. It is also exclusively collected by the central government. It is also exclusively collected by the central government. Now, next one. Sir, what are the components of income tax law, or what are the sources of income tax law? Maybe they can give you, but you have to remember these side headings. What are the sources or components of income tax law? First one is an Income Tax Act 1961. So, Income Tax Act 1961. Next one, Income Tax Rules 1962. Annual Finance Act, circulars and notifications, case laws. Just remember these 5 side headings. Yes, what are the sources and components? Sir, you have to read this Income Tax Act 1961 completely. Then after Income Tax Rules 1962, Annual Finance Act, circulars and notifications, and case laws. If you haven't the clarity about all these things, definitely you will get a knowledge about the income tax law. Sir, what are the sources I have to refer for understanding the income tax law? What are the components I have to read in order to understand the income tax law? The first one, Income Tax Act 1961. Income Tax Act 1961 is came into force on 1/4/1962. Remember, so many students are writing that answer as 1/4/1961. That is not correct, It is came into force on 1/4/1962. It is an extent whole of India, including Jammu and Kashmir. It having the 298 sections as well as the 14 schedules. Remember, every point is an important for an MCQ. Here, I am revising that all the points. That's why you have to focus on that every point. Next, Income Tax Rules 1962. I will tell you one thing. So first they are released that Income Tax Act 1961. If anything is not understood, if any exceptions if they want to release, so that's why in the next year they released the rules. But important point, who are releasing the rules? CBDT. CBDT have a power to issue the rules for proper administration of the act. Sir, while reading the act, many users having some confusion, sir. In order to resolve that the confusions, Central Board of Direct Tax, what is that full form? Central Board of Direct Taxes will release the what rules. Next one, I will tell you Annual Finance Act. I think you know Income Tax Act 1961 is framed around in 1962. It came into force on what 1962. Now we are in the 2025. So that means long ago any law is framed, how we can use that law still, sir? I think you know already 1/4/1962 it is and came into force. Now, yes, it is in past only. So now we are in the present. So how can I implement that type of law in present scenarios, sir? Inflation, rates change, rupee values change, all the things are changed. So that's why, yes, we have one point, Annual Finance Act. That means whatever that, yes sir, proposed changes are there, first you can introduce that all the proposed changes in the finance bill. So nothing but they need to introduce the one finance bill. Who needs to introduce? Union Finance Minister. That means Central Finance Minister needs to introduce one finance bill that containing the what are the proposed changes we have to make every year. So if that isn't got assent in the both the houses of parliament like Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. So after getting that assent in the both the houses of parliament and the President of India, now that bill is converted into what Finance Act. So because of this Finance Act, yes, every year we have changes in direct taxation as well as indirect taxation. It is that changes only we can call it as what amendments. So earlier if it is framed also, every financial year it got amended. Now it is a perfect act. That means Finance Act 2024 only useful our examinations, June as well as December 2025 exams. Yes, remember Finance Act 2024 applicable. Yes, for June as well as December 25 examination. So, can you tell me existing provisions can remove? So, what do you mean by the amendments? So, one provision is there. They can remove this provision. or they can modify the existing provisions, they can introduce the new provisions also. This is only called as what ma amendments in general way. Next, I want to talk about the circulars and the notification. What is it? What do you mean by the circulars and what do you mean by the notification? Example, yes ma, one provision introduced, in that provision they are given the conditions, but conditions yes may not be understood by the Assessee having the doubt, or one TDS provision newly introduced, whether the TDS provision is an applicable for me or not, I haven't doubt. That's why, so now here CBDT will issue the circulars to clarify the doubt over the provisions. Can you tell me? Circulars can be released by CBDT, rules also can be released by whom? CBDT only. So one point ma, whatever the circulars released by the CBDT, that needs to be binded over by the department. Assessee, if advantageous to that Assessee can follow, or otherwise Assessee can ignore. So then what about the notifications? Notifications means nothing but what ma, okay, example I will tell you. Sir, due date for filing of return of income is extended. One thing we want to notify to that all the departmental person as well as all the Assessees also. So notifications related to act, who can release ma? Central government. Notifications related to rules, can you tell me whom? CBDT will release. Remember these points ma. So maybe you can get as an 4 mark theory questions also, or if you are getting that MCQ also, definitely it will be advantage. I will tell you quick recap. Income Tax Act 1961 is came into force on this 1/4/1962, whole of India, 298 sections and 14 schedules. Income tax rules released by the CBDT in order to do the proper implementation of the act. Annual Finance Act, that means not nothing but the first Union Finance Minister introduced the finance bill in the both the houses of Parliament. If that getting the assent from the both the houses of Parliament and President of India, it come into that what Finance Act. So can you tell me the existing provisions can remove, existing provisions can modify, new provisions can be inserted. So next, circulars and notification. Can you tell me circulars means in order to clarify the doubts of the doubts over the different provisions, CBDT can release the circulars. Department needs to bind it over. Bind it over means needs to follow the circulars only. Yes, he can follow if that is an advantageous to him. Otherwise, he can ignore. Next, notifications related to act, central government will issue. Notification related to rules, CBDT will issue. So act can be framed by central government, that's why notifications also central government only. Rules framed by whom? CBDT, that's why CBDT only will issue the rules related notifications. Next, case laws. I will tell you one case law. It is in your syllabus only. Remember. So Soundarya Nurseries case law, name Soundarya Nurseries case law. Okay, they have a nursery income. They have a nursery income. So nursery income, they are treating it as an agricultural income. Nursery means, I think you know, plantation related activities is conducting. So now, but assessing officer saying that, sir, no sir, this is a business income. They are treating that nursery income as an what ma? Business income. I think what is that argument made by the department? Basic operations like seeding, sapling, as well as what ma? Watering. These are all the things if carried on that land, that is an agricultural income. But in nurseries, I think if you are observing, all the plants are yes growing on the yes trays or in plastic covers or in some vessels. So that's why department is saying as it is a business income. Business income, that is a non-agricultural income. There is a dispute between the department and Assessee. So they are going for that High Court. Yes, Madras High Court, sir. So they are going with the Madras High Court. So nothing but here decision is given the favorable to the whom? Soundarya Nurseries only. Sir, what is it base, sir? Whether basic operations like what ma? Seeding, sapling, watering, etc., giving pesticides, etc. These are all are called as a basic operation. Whether these basic operations are on land or not on land also, it is not an issue. If that is a growing activity is there, like a plantation, growing activity is there, that itself can be considered as what ma? Agricultural income. So now, after this landmark judgment or landmark case law based on this, so nowadays all Assessees who are engaged in the nursery business, they are treating it as an agricultural income only. They are treating it as an what ma? Agricultural income only. Are you clear ma up to now? So what is the case law name? Soundarya Nursery case law. So remember, like this we have in many case laws ma. So yes, if you understood this case laws, then only you will get the clarity about the law. So what are the components? Income Tax Act, Income Tax Rules, Annual Finance Act, Circulars, Notifications, case laws. Now, yes, section 1 is in short title, Income Tax Act 1961. Applicability is nothing but what ma? Whole of India including Jammu and Kashmir. Commencement is nothing but what ma? 1/4/1962. Second, section 2 always given the definitions ma. Section 3 is nothing but the previous year, I will tell you after some time. Section 4 is nothing but charging section. It is a very important point. Why we need to learn the charging section, sir? Yes, Income Tax Act 1961 is there. For collecting that income tax, on what basis we can collect the income tax, at what rate we can collect the income tax. These are all the things is given in the section 4. Now we can start the section 4. Listen guys carefully. Charging section, that is section number 4. Now we can start. So just I am written the 3 lines here. Observe the 3 lines. Every person, okay, person means, yes, can you repeat along with me ma? Person means, person inclusive definition ma. Sir, you don't know, maybe you know this chapter very well, but in order to turn from your track to, that means you have an own style of learning, as well as you followed that many discussions as per your respective faculties, but I want to convert you all from my converting into my teaching methodology. That's why I am giving that introduction chapter in depth way. So hereafter I will go in a speed manner only. First I want to give that introduction in my own way, then you can convert into my flow. Further chapters can be understood in easy manner. That is only the reason. So now inclusive definition ma, individual, HUF, partnership firm, LLP, company, AOP, BOI, local authority, cooperative society, AJP. These are all our person inclusive definition. So now all the things you know very well ma, but I want to tell you about the AOP, BOI as well as AJP. The remaining all the things you know anywhere in foundation level also, but I want to tell you AOP, BOI, AJP. Yes, association of person ma. Any person, can you tell me in person definition we have in many things na? Any person can become the member in AOP. Example ma, so 2 companies and 1 HUF all together, they can start the association of person and they can do the business. Next, body of individuals ma, that means I think in the name itself we have here persons, here individuals. Only individuals can become the members. That means 5 or 6 individuals can become the members in BOI, body of individuals. Are you clear? Now, so then after I want to tell you AJP. Many students as always reading the definition from the individual to AJP, but what do you mean by the AJP? They don't know. I will tell you ma. So it is a residuary category. If any person is not classified in all these things, that person having the place in AJP. So it is in residuary or miscellaneous. Yes, example we can say trust. Yes ma, example we can say trust, universities, RBI, like statutory authorities are there, that all the things we can call it as an what ma? AJP. Simply we can say cooperative society also we can say as an AJP, but I am saying separately, there is a reason. Remember, yes sir, cooperative societies is one example for AOP, but no need to refer, but separately we can read the cooperative societies ma. So can you repeat the person definition for me? Yes, the person, individual, HUF, firm, LLP, company, AOP, BOI, local authority, cooperative society, AJP. AJP is a residuary category of person. If any person is not having the place in this category, that person having the place in AJP. Now, whose total income, every person, whose total income, what do you mean by the total income? Yes, what do you mean by the total income? Listen carefully. So we have to calculate the, yes, person income. So please classify his income into 5 heads of income. First one, income from salary, income from house property, income from business or profession, income from capital gain, income from other sources. So can you tell me, other sources is residuary. If any income not having the place in these four, that having the place in the last head of income. So please add all together. You will get what mark? Gross total income. So from that gross total income, please reduce chapter 6A deductions. You will get the net total income or total income or taxable income. On this only we need to collect the what mark? Tax. On this only we need to collect the tax. Remember, now every person total income we have to check. Sir, this total income for life or 1 year for of previous year. Every person whose total income of previous year. So now we can start our discussion. One most important concept, general rule or golden rule. What is a general rule or golden rule? For your upcoming June as well as December 25 examinations, upcoming June as well as December 25 examination, previous year is 24-25. Yes, previous year means nothing but I will tell you, it is an always expressed in the financial year terms, not in calendar year terms. It is an always expressed in the financial year terms, not in calendar year terms. Now, remember, if any income earned during that this financial year, that income only, that year only called as what? Previous year. So on that income, we are required to pay the tax in immediately next financial year. That is only we can call it as what? Assessment year. That is only we can call it as what? Assessment year. Remember, if any income earned during that previous year, on that income we are required to pay the tax in the next financial year. That is only assessment year. Sir, why this differentiation, sir? Because the books of accounts can be closed during the financial year in which income earned on the last day. Within that 1 day we are unable to pay the tax. That's why we are postponing the payment of tax to the next year. That means income earned during the previous year, on that income we are required to pay the tax in assessment year. That is only golden rule or general rule. Now you have to remember, previous year is 24-25, assessment year is 25-26. Next, so this is only the previous year definition. What is the definition of the previous year? If any income earned during, it is in first financial year in which you are earned the income is called as a previous year. For our examinations of previous year 24-25, generally always having the 12 months only, but in some exceptional cases we haven't, the previous year duration is less than 12 months. So new source of income, example, I am getting the job as or salary income from 1/8/2024. That means now previous year also will be starting from that date to year end only, not from the year beginning. Or new business or profession I am started from the 1/9/2024, random date I am taken as an example. So now for me previous year is starting from the 1/9/2024 to 31st March 2025. Generally always 12 months only, but in these cases only, in these two cases only, new source of income starting from the middle of the year, new business or profession is starting from the middle of the year, then definitely we have an less than 12 months time. Now assessment year, first of all it is a financial year in which you are paying the tax is called as what? Assessment year. For our examination, assessment year is nothing but 25-26. Or we can write the definition of assessment year in one more way: immediately succeeding financial year to the previous year, also called as what? Assessment year. Now, okay, sir, we calculated, sir, one person total income of the previous year we calculated. If that exceeds maximum amount not chargeable to tax, they will set one limit up. This is a maximum limit. Below this maximum limit, no need to pay the tax. So that's why, what is the terminology? Maximum amount not chargeable to tax. That means they are setting the one limit Below this, no need to pay the tax. This is a maximum amount not chargeable to tax. So over and above, if you are having income, you are required to pay the tax. Simply, we can say it as an basic exemption limit. If any person having the total income of the previous year, if exceeds the basic exemption limit, then that person can be called as assessee. He is required to pay the tax by using the rates specified in the Finance Act related to relevant assessment year. Remember, sir, I haven't total income of the previous year below the basic exemption limit. No need to pay the tax. But if you haven't that income more than basic exemption limit, then you are an assessee. You are required to pay the tax at the rates mentioned in the Finance Act related to relevant assessment year. Now, I want to know about the basic exemption limit. Remember, basic exemption limit. Now, I will tell you. Maximum amount not chargeable to tax. This is only called as what, ma? Basic exemption limit. Listen carefully. Yeah. In person definition, if individual is a non-resident or individual having the resident having the less than 60 years. So next, individual having the resident having the 60 or more than 60 or less than 80. Next category separately, individual is a resident having the more than or equal to 80 years. That means individual categorized into three, individual non-resident, individual resident having less than 60 years, individual resident more than 60 or equal to 60. Remember, more than or equal to 60, less than 80 is senior citizen. Next, more than or equal to 80, very senior citizen or super senior citizen. Now, along with him, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, there is no age classification for them. What is the basic exemption limit? 2,50,000. So here 3 lakh, here 5 lakh, here nil. Company, partnership firm, cooperative society, local authorities, nil. So that means if you are observing that in person definition, whoever are there, for all of them we discuss at the, yes, we discuss at the what, ma? Basic exemption limit. Basic exemption limit. Now remember this, ma? Remember this. For these SSCs, we have an 115 BAC. We have an 115 BAC also. Under section 115 BAC, I will tell you what is that 115 BAC, all the things, ma. Under 115 BAC, what is the basic exemption limit? Do you have any idea? 3 lakh. What is the basic exemption limit, ma? 3 lakh. Here, nil. Not 115 BAC, 115 BAC closed for this only. Then remaining also basic exemption limit is nil. Okay, ignore. Yes, under section 115 BAC, it is a new regime, or we can call it as a default tax regime also. What is that, ma? Yes. This one is an as per old regime. What is that, ma? 2,50,000, 3 lakh, 5 lakh. But under section 115 BAC, always what is the basic exemption limit, ma? 3 lakh. Now, what do you mean by the SSE? I will tell you. So, any person who is required to pay the tax under Income Tax Act 1961, that person is called as what, ma? SSE. So remember, all SSEs are persons only, but all person may not be an SSE. General sentence, ma. Sir, one person, when he can become SSE, ma? One person, when he can become as an SSE, if he is required to pay the tax, then he can become an SSE. But if that person is an SSE, always is a person. Now, are you clear up to now? Now I will tell you rates. Entire chapter is nothing but rates only. Yes, one person total income of the previous year is more than basic exemption limit, then he is an SSE, is required to pay the tax by using the rates. Now, what are the rates we have in our syllabus? Now we can discuss and we can close this chapter. The rates only important. Tax rates. Please type your answers also. Remember, Sir, how can I calculate the tax liability under Income Tax Act 1961? If you want to calculate the tax liability under Income Tax Act 1961, first we have to calculate income tax liability. Second one, we have to calculate surcharge. Third one, we have to calculate health and education cess. All together only we can call it as an what ma tax liability. What are the three things ma? Income tax liability, surcharge and health and education cess. All together we can call it as an tax liability. So for calculating that income tax liability, remember, please check ma, you have a normal tax rates as well as optional tax rates also. We have a normal tax rates as well as optional tax rates also. Sir, some special incomes will be there like capital gain incomes, lottery, crossword puzzles, winnings, gamblings income. Always this will be taxable at what ma special tax rate. Remember again I will tell you. So for normal incomes you can follow normal tax rates or optional tax rates also, no issue. But always special incomes will be taxable at special tax rates. All together we can call it as an what ma income tax liability. On this income tax liability, that means on this income tax we want to collect the one more type of tax, that is only tax on tax, that is only surcharge. Remember why this surcharge is there ma? Because it is a progressive based in nature. If you are a rich person, I want to collect the one more tax from you, that is only surcharge. Next one is an health and education cess. Next one is nothing but what ma? Health and education cess. It is collected on the income tax and surcharge, on that we can collect the in health and education cess. Just give me confirmation ma, what are the components? Please type your answer. Don't say ideal. If you are sitting at ideal while you are listening also, your thoughts might be diverted. That's why please type your answer if possible. Income tax liability, surcharge and health and education cess. While computing that income tax liability, for normal incomes you can use the normal tax rates or optional tax rates, but special incomes always taxable at a special tax rate. Next, on this income tax liability we want to collect this surcharge also. Surcharge means it is a tax on tax. Next one, health and education cess. Health and education cess needs to be collected on the what ma income tax liability and surcharge. Yes. Now we can discuss about the normal tax rates ma. Then after optional we can discuss, special tax rate we can discuss, surcharge we can discuss, health and education cess we can discuss. Last we can discuss the rebate and the marginal relief. Then this chapter will be over. Yes, remember I am going in a speed manner because you know already something. Now first category, individual non-resident, individual resident less than 60 years, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Can you tell me what is the basic exemption limit? 2,50,000. Earlier we referred that is an 2,50,000. So next slab 2,50,000 to 5 lakh. Next 5 lakh to 10 lakh. Then above 10 lakh. What are the slabs ma? Sir, slabs means nothing but every slab increases, the tax rate also increases. But below 2,50,000 nil. Next slab 5%. Next slab 20%. Next slab 30%. Next slab what ma? 30%. 5, 20, 30. 5, 20, 30. Next category, individual more than or equal to 60, but in examination maybe you haven't doubt. Remember, more than or equal to 60 also, he is a senior citizen only. What is the basic exemption limit ma? 3 lakh. Up to 3 lakh, no need to collect any tax. Next slab 5 lakh ma? 3 to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 10 lakh, above 10 lakh, 5%, 20%, 30%. Next, individual having the more than or equal to 80 years, he is a very senior citizen or super senior citizen. Yes, here up to 5 lakh itself basic exemption limit ma. Next slab is what ma? 5 to 10 lakh. 5 to 10 lakh. Next above 10 lakh. But remember 5 to 10 lakh slab rate is nothing but what ma? 20%. So that's why here directly you can allocate the 20% and above 10 lakh 30%. Here important observation, in this classification there is no 5% slab. There is no 5% slab. Partnership firm LLP required to pay the tax by using the what flat rate. There is no basic exemption limit for them. Local authority also needs to pay the tax at the rate of 30% of flat rates. Company, remember important company rates. Now, domestic company. So for this previous year and assessment year, I want to know the rates. For this previous year assessment year, if you want to know the tax rates for the domestic company, please check it out. Turnover or gross receipts of the previous year 20 to 23. Yes, clearly. Now, in which year we are there, ma? Previous year 24-25. For this year tax rate depending upon the last year, no. Before last year 20 to 23 turnover, please check. 20 to 23 turnover, please check. Yes, prior year's turnover is only the reliable. That's why in act they are always saying, yes sir, prior year's turnover, please check. Gross receipts or turnover does not exceed 400 crores, then just 25% is enough. If exceeds the 400 crores, that is an 30%. That is an 30%. Remember, again I am saying to all of you, this is an 400 crores, not lakhs. Does not exceed 25, exceeds 30%. Foreign company tax rate amendment, now it is an 35. Earlier attempt, it is an 40%. Cooperative society. Yes, ma. Can you tell me, cooperative society, if you are observing that there is no basic exemption limit for the cooperative society. There is no basic exemption limit. But if there is no basic exemption limit, definitely we are going to follow the flat rate. Okay, here there is no basic exemption limit. That's why we are following the flat rates. But it isn't different, ma. Here we are following the slab rates only. Up to 10,000, 10%. Why? There is no basic exemption limit. That means 1 rupee to 10,000 also we want to collect the 10%. 10,000 to 20,000, 20%. Above 20,000, 30%. Sir, why they are saying the small amounts of slabs? Because cooperative society is having the maximum no profit or low profit only. Their profit achievement is an always minimum. So that's why even though minimum also we want to collect the tax, that is in 10%, 20%, 30%. Clear ma up to no normal tax rates, remember? So please give me confirmation about the normal tax rates. Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, partnership firm, local authority, yes, company, cooperative society, all persons related normal tax rates done. Then we can discuss about the first surcharge. Then we can come back to the optional tax rates or special tax rates. Now, please go to the discussion of surcharge, ma. Surcharge means it is a tax on tax. It is a tax on tax. First, I want to discuss the surcharge for the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. But yes, can you tell me what do you mean by the AOP, ma? Association of person. In association of person, one individual, one company, one partnership firm is there. Okay. But in one AOP, we have an only companies consisting as a members. So here for this AOP, I will tell you the separate surcharge rates. Please exclude from here. Other than AOP consisting only companies as a members. In this AOP, only who are members, ma, companies only. So that's why this type of AOP, please exclude, and we can discuss the separate surcharge rate for this AOP. AOP consisting only companies as a members. While applying the surcharge rates, please forget about the age. Please forget about the residential status. Only please check total income. Only you have to check the total income. Whether you are in rich or poor, that is depends upon age and residential status. No, that is depend upon the total income. Under normal tax rates or under optional tax rates, I will tell you what is an optional tax rate now. That is a default tax regime. So forget about that. Yes, remember optional tax rates are new rates or default. So first we can discuss about the surcharge rates for the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP under normal tax rates. If that income is less than 50 lakh or equal to 50 lakh, no need to pay surcharge because you are considered as an poor only. Less than or equal to 50 lakh also not required. Equal to 50 also not required. More than 50 lakh, more than 50 lakh, less than or equal to 1 crore, then you have to pay 10% of your income tax as an surcharge. That's why on tax only we have to collect this tax. That's why remember this rate needs to be applied on income tax, not on total income. Next 1 to 2 crores ma 10% of income tax, 2 to 5 25% of income tax, more than 5 crores any income is there, that is an 37%. What is that maximum tax rate or maximum surcharge tax rate under normal tax rates ma, please tell me. 37%, remember. Next, sir, if the individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP other than AOP consisting companies as a members, if they are following that optional tax rates, yes, please check the total income. Based on that, we can decide the surcharge rate. If they have the total income less than or equal to 50 lakh, no need to pay surcharge. 50 to 1, 10% of income tax. 1 to 2, 15% of income tax. More than 2, whatever is there, that is an 25% of income tax. 25% of what ma? Income tax. Remember, what is the maximum surcharge rate under optional tax rate scheme or default tax? What is that ma? Default tax. Now, remember, others. So, can you tell me firm LLP local authority? Firm LLP local authority. So, more than 1 crore to 10 crore, 12%, 10 crore above also 12%. Firm local authority surcharge rate always 12% ma. More than 1 crore to 10 crore also, more than 10 crores also. Domestic company, cooperative society, yes ma, more than 1 crore to 10 crore to 7%, more than 10 crore, 12%. Foreign company, just 2% as well as what ma, 5%. I think we excluded the one AOP consisting only companies as a members. Then what is the surcharge rate ma? More than 50 lakh. Yes, remember this is only ma. More than 50 lakh, 10%. More than 1 crore, directly 15%. Here what is the maximum surcharge rate ma? 15%. Same only. These two only we are given. Yes ma. 10 no 15 no, here also 10 no 15. But more than 1 crore always here what ma? 15% only. Yes. So now surcharge rates, if you understood that, yes, surcharge rate, if you understood that, then I want to tell you one theory. If you have energy, you can write it down. If you have energy, you can write it down. But I want to tell you, it is the most important also. Listen carefully. Now, for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Okay. Yes, if you are opening the income tax website for the filing of return of income, yes ma, always they will show you 115 BAC tax rates only. 115 BAC tax rates only. What? Why 115 BAC ma? So this is only they are saying it as a default tax regime. Default tax regime, or we can call it as what ma? Okay, default tax regime, or they are saying it is a new regime for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Can you tell me which one is a default tax regime ma? 115 BAC. Sir, no sir, I don't want to follow the 115 BAC sir. Is there any remedy we have? Yes, you can shift from the 115 BAC to the, yes ma, you can shift from the 115 BAC to the, yes, old regime. You can shift from the 115 BAC to the old regime, that is only normal tax rates. That is only what ma normal tax rates. Now I will tell you, sir, how we can shift from this default tax regime to the yes ma normal tax rate. In section 115 BAC subsection 6, they are given the option. If you exercise this option, automatically you can go to the what ma normal. So now I will tell you, from this default you are selecting this option. So that's why this is called as an optional tax rates. So now I'm talking about the YESMA individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP only. Yes. Can you tell me what is a default tax regime? Or we can say it as a new regime. Yes ma. Or we can say it as a new regime. What is that ma? Default tax regime or new regime or under section 115 BAC is nothing but now it is a default one. If you don't want to follow, yes, you can shift out from this one to other one. That is only what ma normal tax regime, old regime or optional tax rates. What is that option? 115 BAC subsection 6. Now, second one. Domestic companies ma. Domestic companies. Normal tax rate is a default one. Normal tax rates is default one. Sir, domestic companies, our Indian companies, we want to give this some concession or benefit ma. So that's why if they want to follow, yes, they can follow. Otherwise, they can follow the optional tax rates ma. What is that? Optional tax rates. So optional tax rate is section 115 BA, BAA, BAB. 115 BA, BAA, BAB. So these things you have to remember in your exam also. Domestic companies over. Now, third one, resident cooperative societies ma. Resident cooperative societies. So normal tax rate, I think cooperative societies tax rates, you know. Normal tax rates only default one. Now, no sir, resident cooperative societies sir, that's two. That's why we can provide the optional tax rates. Yes, we can provide the optional tax rates. So they can follow the section 115 BAD or we can follow the section 115 BAE also. We can follow the what ma? 115 BAE also. For these three SSEs only we haven't two regimes ma. So what about the foreign companies? Only one tax rate, normal tax rate only. For partnership firm LLP only we haven't flat rate 30%. There is no other regime. For who haven't two regimes ma? Yes, individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Default one is on 115 BAC, optional, normal. Yes, sir. Yes, old tax rates is a normal tax rate. Yes, domestic companies, default one is a normal tax rate, optional 115 BA, BAB, BAA. Next, resident cooperative society, normal tax rate and optional tax rates will be BAD, BAE. Now, remember, why they are making this scheme as a default one? Because rebate. Because of the rebate, most of the SSEs will follow this scheme only or following these rates only. So that's why they are making this regime as a default one. Yes, are you clear ma up to now? All of you please give me confirmation. Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Which one is a default tax regime? 115 BAC. In 115 BAC subsection 6 they are given the option. If any SSE exercises the option, can you tell me what is the regime he is going to follow? Normal tax rate, old regime or optional tax rate? Yes. So now we can go to the next points in our discussion. This is only I mentioned clearly. What is the default tax regime? 115 BAC. In this section, they are given the tax rates. 115 BAC subsection 1. So they are given the option in the 115 BAC subsection 6. Yes, if you are opting out or option to shift out, then definitely the normal tax rates only. Next, default tax regime is normal tax rate. If you want to shift out, yes, you can go for that. Optional. Next, cooperative society. Default one is a normal. If you want to shift out, yes, BAD, BAE. BAD, BAE. Now, so now we can discuss the optional tax rates, or but we can't call it as an optional tax rate, but now it is in what my default tax regime. You know already, yes, but now it is a default tax regime. For whom? Individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Amendment, listen. Yes, 0 to 3 lakh, nil. Already I told. Yes, what is that? Sir, basic exemption limit under section 115 BAC for that individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP is 3 lakh only. That's why up to 3 lakh. So there is no age classification. There is no residential status also. Remember, directly 3 lakh. Whether it is a resident or non-resident also. There is no age classification also. Always. What is that? Basic exemption limit 3 lakh. 3 to 7 lakh, 5%. 7 to 10 lakh, 10%. 10 to 12 lakh, 15%. 12 to 15 lakh, 20%. Above 15 lakh, 30%. Remember, there is no 25% slab here. There is no 25% slab here. So, every slab increases. Always, we are increasing the 5% rate. Surcharge, already we discussed. For that individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, if they are following that optional, but now that isn't what my default one only. No need to read it as an optional, but just I am referring it as a set. But remember it as a default tax regime. What is it? Maximum surcharge rate 25% if the total income more than 2 crore. Now, so domestic companies, remember 115 BAB. First, I will refer the 115 BAB. It is a domestic manufacturing company upon the satisfaction of these two conditions. What are the two conditions? So, set up and registered on or after 1/10/2019 and commencement if business is before the 31st March 2024. Remember. So, on or after this date, commencement and registration. Before this date, yes, if you are commencing it, your activities, then yes, no need to pay. Normally, what is a tax rate for the domestic company? 25% or 30%. Now, just 15 is enough. Yes, normally for domestic companies, what is the surcharge rate? 7 and 12, depending upon what total income. Now, no need to check the total income, directly 10%, and health and education says 4%. Effectively, you can get the 17.16 because it is a manufacturing. Other domestic companies may be service oriented or other companies, yes, 22% and fixed surcharge at the rate of 10% and 4%. If you are calculating the effective tax rate, you will get the 25.168, guys. 25.168. Are you clear, ma? 115 BAA over, 115 BAB over. Now, cooperative societies optional tax rates are there, 115 BAD, 115 BAE. So, here the same, ma. It is similar to section 115 BAB, but condition dates only changed. Just check it out. 23, 24 starting date and ending date. The same tax rate is continued as in 115 BAB. So this is the same as in section 115 BAA. Yes, that is also the same tax rates they are continued. But here, cooperative society means that is a resident cooperative societies. Don't forget that point. Don't forget that point. Are you clear, ma, up to now? So, as of now, we discussed, if you are observing that, yes, whenever we have a normal tax rate, that normal tax rate, whenever we have an optional tax rate, optional we discuss, surcharge also we will discuss. But now we can discuss about the special tax rates. Now we can discuss about the special tax rate. So, if any person having this special tax rate taxable income, these rates are applicable to the all assessees. Example, if capital gain income is there for the assessee, definitely any assessee also required to follow the same thing. So, nothing but what long-term capital gain we can get and short-term capital gain we can get. But now, just refer this section, but capital gain chapter, I will tell you the rates in detailed manner. Long-term capital gain 112A. Yes, what is the tax rate? 112A under, yes, 12.5 flat and yes, what is that? 1 lakh. 1,25,000 is a basic exemption limit, 12.5, and we have a 10% also, but I will tell you after the time, sorry, when we can levy the 10%, when we can levy the 12.5%, when we can levy the 1,25,000. Next, long-term capital gain under section 112, sir. Yes, it is taxable at the rate of 12.5% or 20, where we can apply the 20%, where we can apply the 12.5, I will tell you. Short-term capital gain triple 1A, it is taxable at the rate of what, 15%. So, and we have a 15% also, please consider this. Next, short-term capital gain other than triple 1A, short-term capital gain other than triple 1A, it is taxable at normal tax rate. Entire capital gain tax chapter is taxable at special tax rate. No. These three only taxable at special tax rate. Short-term capital gain other than triple 1A will always taxable at what, normal tax rates. Lottery income, that is an casual income, flat 30%. Net winnings from online games, 30%. So deemed income or undisclosed income or any block money is there, tax at the rate of 60%, surcharge at the rate of 25%, health and education cess at the rate of 4%. Effectively, if you are calculated that, yes, you will get the 78%, important for an MCQ, tax on undisclosed income. Yes, what is the rate, 78%. Sir, what is that health and education cess? It is applicable for all assessees like individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. So, please calculate income tax liability. If applicable, surcharge you can add, and if rebate is there, please reduce the rebate, and finally you can add the what, 4% as an health and education tax. So remember, health and education cess is a last step in tax computation. Last step. Yes, if surcharge added, surcharge add, then rebate is no need to reduce. Yes, if surcharge is not applicable, then maybe rebate applicable. Yes, you can reduce the rebate. Final output, on that you can apply the 4%. Final output, on that you can apply the what, 4%. Now remember, I will make these changes. Yes, remember, yes, long-term capital gain 112, here two rates we have, 12.5%, 10%. Long-term capital gain 112, we have in 12.5 as well as 20%. Short-term capital gain 20% as well as 15 also. Short-term capital gain other than triple 1A is normal tax rate. Now we are already discussed the tax rates in detailed manner. If you are observing that, yes, we discussed the normal tax rates, optional tax rates, special tax rate, surcharge, health and education cess also we discussed in and out. Now we can go to that further discussion. We can go to that further discussion about the some problems are there in this solution. Sorry, for some problems are there in this material. You can follow that. But basic computation not required, you can ignore this also. Now, one of the most important concept I will tell you, the rebate under section 87A. Yes, so we have two concepts, rebate, now marginal relief. Within half an hour we can close this chapter. 100% we are discussing, Sir, rebate is an eligible only for the resident individual. While paying the tax, yes, we are given the rebate. Yes, that means we are given the discount while paying the tax. Resident individual. And based on total income only we can give. Based on total income, that means if his total income is less than 5 lakh or 7 lakh. Sir, relief is nothing but for all assessees, marginal relief for all assessees. Sir, why we want to give the marginal some amount of relief, because of surcharge. Because of what, surcharge. There is a huge difference between these two concepts. Many students are merging these two. Yes, rebate only for resident individual we can give if his total income is less than 5 lakh or 7 lakh. Marginal relief for all assessees because of the surcharge we want to pay the what, example I will tell you. Yes, additional income is there. We are earning the some additional income, but I am comparing the additional income with the additional tax. Yes, additional tax only is more. Additional tax only the more. Sir, I am earning the 50,000 additional income, but you are asking the additional tax 65,000. My income itself extra 50 only. How can I pay the 65,000, sir? How can I pay the 65,000, sir? So that's why they are providing the marginal relief, some amount of relief they are providing. This doesn't happen only because of surcharge concept. This doesn't happen only because of what ma surcharge. Now we can discuss about the rebate. Then after we can discuss the marginal relief ma. Rebate under section 87 capital A for the resident individual. If the resident individual is following the which regime ma? Normal tax regime. If he is following that which regime? Normal tax regime. Now this is only called as an old regime. This is only called as what ma? Optional tax regime. If his total income does not exceed 5 lakh. Does not exceed 5 lakh. So can you calculate tax liability on 5 lakh ma? Just you will get the 12,500. So that's why tax payable are 12,500, whichever is lower. Exactly, if any person having the 5 lakh or less than 5 lakh total income is not required to pay any tax because of the rebate under section 87A. Now they are introducing the rebate under yes one next scheme also, that is a default tax regime under section 115 BAC. Here definitely if you have an total income, less than how much amount ma? 7 lakh or does not exceed the 7 lakh, then you will get rebate. Which one is a better for rebate point of view? This is only the better. Here 5 lakh or less than 5 lakh only I can get the rebate, but here 7 lakh or less than 7 lakh you can get the rebate. Most of the SSEs turn to this. That's why they are making it as a default tax regime. So now what is the rebate ma? Tax payable or 25,000, whichever is lower. That means up to yes ma 7 lakh, yes, no need to pay even single rupee of tax also because of this rebate. Now I want to take the one more twist is there. Maybe you can get the one question also from this. Remember, if the total income of an individual exceeds 7 lakh also we can give the rebate based on the what ma? Based on the what ma? Marginal relief concept. I will tell you. Total income, please do that calculation ma. Total income now 7,20,000. He is following the default tax regime ma. Now we want to calculate the tax liability, but I think we can eligible for the rebate. I will tell you why. Sir, how can I eligible for the rebate? Please follow these steps, then you will get an idea. What is the total income excess over the 7 lakh ma? 20,000. What is the total income excess over 7 lakh? 20,000. Compute income tax liability on 7 lakh. Here Assessee is following that which regime ma? 115 BAC regime. So now 0 to 3 lakh nil, 3 lakh to 7 lakh I think 5%. So next to 20,000, yes 10%. So nothing but this is an 20,000 and it is an 2,000. So totally 22,000. Sir, what is that income tax liability ma? 22,000. I earned only 20,000, but you extra up to 7 lakh no need to pay tax. But over 7 lakh, how much I earned ma? 20,000. But you are asking 22,000, how can I pay, sir? Additional income is less than additional tax. You are expecting 22 from me. My additional income is 20. That's why step 2 is more than step 1. You will get the rebate. That is an step 2 minus step 1. Minus now rebate. Step 2 minus step 1 is nothing but what ma? 2,000. Finally, if you pay the tax 20,000, that's enough. Are you understood ma? Sir, like what is the limit, sir? How we can get an idea? So nothing but for resident individual who is following the default tax regime under section 115B AC. Yes, 0 to yes ma 7 lakh. Yes, no tax. He can get directly what ma? Rebate. Directly he will get rebate under section 87 capital A. Next 7 lakh above 7 lakh 22,220. Yes, we can give the rebate under which concept, ma? 87A, under marginal relief concept. Under which concept, ma? Marginal relief concept. Now, over and above, yes, no rebate. No rebate. Are you clear? Many students are asking the limit, sir. You are only saying more than 7 lakh also we can get the marginal relief. Up to which extent we can get, sir? 7,22,220, sir. More than the total income if they are given, directly we can calculate the tax liability. We can calculate the tax liability. All of you, are you understood, ma? Rebate always should be reduced before adding education cess. That's why I am saying education cess is the last step in the tax computation. Income tax, if applicable, you can add surcharge. If rebate is there, please reduce the rebate. After that, you can add that what, ma, 4% as an health and education cess. Are you clear, ma, up to now? So many students are confusing regarding the how you can get the marginal relief if that income more than 7 lakh also. Under which concept we are getting, ma? Under marginal relief concept we are getting. I hope are you understood this concept, ma? Yes, I am expecting a reply from all of you. Please give me reply. Yes, very good morning. Very good morning to all of you. If you have any doubts till now, you can ask, ma. Basics are very important for that writing that entire exam paper, sir. Don't take any risk. Please go through it after the session ends. So very important thing you should know about these things, sir. Very important thing you need to know about. Many final students also confusing about this point. For individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJB, if they are not saying anything about the regime, for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJB, if they are not saying anything, 115 BAC is a new regime, default tax regime. So no, sir, I want to shift from the default to the normal. Yes, it is an optional, or we can call it as an old regime. For domestic companies or cooperative societies, normal is there. Yes, you can shift from the normal to optional. But one more thing I will say. One more thing I will say. For cooperative, for partnership firm, for LLP, for foreign companies, there is no two regimes. Only one regime is there. That is a normal regime. That is only the default one. No need to shift from anything to other. For these three categories only. For these three categories only. For these three categories only, we have to observe. We have to observe two regimes. Dhanush, are important topics for June attempt. I mean, which topics are most important? Alright. First chapter itself small, ra. First chapter totally. Every chapter I will give you important provisions list. First chapter is an important because for applying that remaining chapters related problems or calculations purpose, we need to know about that entire first chapter. Please have some patience. Yes. Then after, then we can revise the first chapter totally. Okay, second chapter onwards, I will tell you important sections list and important questions list also. First chapter, don't take any risk. Now, I will tell you. So problems you can do, you can do always easily. Now I want to take the one more provision, that is a rounding off of total income. Rounding off of total income, that is under section 288A, rounding off of tax payable 288B. So what is that, rounding off to the nearest multiples of 10. Rounding off is nearest multiples of what, 10. So fractions or paisas are there, ignore. Both the things, total income or tax payable, should be rounded off to nearest multiples of 10 only. nearest multiples of 10 only. I will share you after the class ends ma. So please listen now. After the class ends, definitely I will share to our Telegram group. Don't think about it ma. Yes, you can join to the Telegram group, link given in a description box. Here nearest multiples of 10 is nothing but what ma? 60. Here nearest is nothing but what ma? 50. But 5 is there. Remember, 5 is there. 5 more than 5. 5 more than 5 in the last digit should be rounded off to next multiple of 10. That you should remember. So many students are remembered. Yes, easily they can identify first two cases. The last one is an important. 5 more than 5, it should be rounded off to next multiple of 10. So next, average tax rate, one formula is there ma. Sir, I collected the 30,000 tax on 1 lakh. What is the rate means? How you can calculate ma? Tax payable divided by total income into 100. Then you will get average tax rate. Now, important MCQ purpose, the maximum marginal tax rate. In certain default cases, if you are not followed that income tax provision properly, now they can collect the tax by using the what ma? Maximum marginal tax rate. What is the maximum marginal tax rate for an individual? What is the maximum marginal tax rate for an individual who are following the normal tax rate? Can you tell me other names for the normal tax rate for an individual ma? Old or what ma? Optional tax rates also. Can you tell me highest income tax rate 30%, highest surcharge rate, I think clearly we discussed more than 5 crores is on 37%, health and education says 4%, effectively 42.744. Yes, maximum marginal tax rate for an individual who are following the default tax regime under section 115 BAC. Can you tell me what is that maximum income or highest income tax rate ma? 30%. And highest surcharge rate ma? More than 2 crores. Yes, that is then 25%. Health and education says 4%. Effectively 39%. Effectively that is then 39%. Remember, these two things are important ma. What do you mean by the average tax rate and what do you mean by the what ma? Maximum marginal tax rate. Now, last concept in our discussion in this chapter, marginal relief. I think you know marginal relief is available for whom ma? All assessees. Marginal relief is available for whom ma? All assessees. Reason why we are giving the marginally some amount of relief to the taxpayers ma? Because of surcharge. Because of surcharge, what will happen ma? In certain cases, because of surcharge, in certain cases, additional income, if you are calculating the additional income, okay, is less than additional tax. Sir, additional tax is more, sir, but we are earning the additional income is less only. So that's why in such cases, yes, we can give the what ma? Marginal relief. Yes, now, so maybe you can get the one question also from the marginal relief concept. Listen carefully. I will tell you the marginal relief concept by using the one example ma. Yes, please listen carefully. Case 1 ma, I am highlighting with a green color. So case 1, Assessee is Mr. A, 42 years of age. His total income exactly 50 lakh. He is following the normal tax rate. We can call it as an optional also or old also for an individual. Next case 2 I am taken the same Assessee, just I am increasing the 1 lakh additional income. He is also following the normal tax rate. Now shall we calculate the tax liability here? Shall we calculate the tax liability? Yes, here you can calculate the tax liability by using the normal tax rates ma. Yes, I am highlighting in a speed mode. Yes, listen, 0 to 2.5 lakh nil, 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 10 lakh, above 10 lakh. Yes, just income tax liability itself 13 lakh 12,500. Here total income is 50 lakh. No need to add surcharge ma. Remember, under normal tax rate, if the total income is more than or equal to, less than or equal to 50 lakh, no need to pay surcharge. Remember surcharge concept I will open ma. Here exactly 50 lakh ma. Exactly 50 lakh. That's why no need to apply the surcharge. More than 50 lakh, then only surcharge. That's why here I'm not applying the surcharge. Yes, what is that amount we got here, ma? 13 lakh 12,500. No need to apply the surcharge. Same amount you will get. Finally, we can apply the health and education cess, that is in 13 lakh 65,000. You got tax liability, ma. But next 51 lakh, exactly here, this is the basic limits for surcharge. Sir, what do you mean by the basic limits for surcharge? I will tell you, ma. What do you mean by the basic limits for surcharge? I will tell you. Here, 50 lakh is a basic limit. 1 crore is a basic limit. 2 crore, 5 crore. Sir, why you are calling it as a basic limit? Sir, at this, no. But over and above, over definitely 10%. So if 1 crore exceeds, increases. 2 crores exceeds also, increases. That's why these limits I am calling it as an basic limits for the surcharge. So 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. But here 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore only basic limit. Here what are the basic limits, ma? 50 lakh, 1 crore. Yes, what is that, ma? 2 crore. Yes, here 5 crore. But here basic limits, ma? 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore only. But here basic limits, ma? 1 crore only. More than 1 crore always same. Here 1 crore, 10 crore. Here 1 crore, 10 crore. These are all our basic limits for surcharge, guys. Please remember. If this, yes, in your problem, if they are mentioning the basic limits for surcharge over and above 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh if they are given, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh if they are given. Can you tell me basic limits for surcharge overall? I think we haven't what, ma? 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. Yes, ma. But partnership firm 1 crore. Yes. Next companies 1 crore, 10 crore. Yes. So these are the basic limits for surcharge. Additionally, if they are given the 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh. So then if they are given like this, please calculate tax liability. Yes, by using tax liability, definitely we need to calculate by using marginal relief concept only, because here you can get the marginal relief. Remember, if the total income over and above the basic limit 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, for these cases, please compute the tax liability by using the which concept, marginal relief concept only. Yes, while calculating the tax liability, they are providing the marginal relief. So no need to calculate directly, ma. For these cases, you can calculate the tax liability by using the marginal relief concept. Here, over and above basic limit, what is that extra income, ma? 1 lakh. So that's why definitely I know we can get the marginal relief. But I am showing as a proof why we are getting the marginal relief now. 2.5 lakh, nil, 5 to 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, 5 lakh to 10 lakh, above 10 lakh. Can you tell me what is the tax liability we are getting? 13 lakh 42,500. Here more than 50 lakh, that's why we can get the surcharge. Surcharge always applied on what, ma? Income tax liability. On this income tax liability, we applied the surcharge. Finally, we applied the health and education cess on the both the components, that is an income tax as well as surcharge. Remember, if I am calculating the additional tax is 1,70,820. What is that additional income I have, ma? 1 lakh. Sir, I earned the extra 1 lakh, but they are asking the tax. How much amount, ma? 1,70,820. That is only I am saying. Additional income is lesser. Additional tax is more. Now, why this reason, ma? Because of this surcharge only. Because of the surcharge only, they are providing the marginal relief if that additional income is less than the additional tax. Always in your exam, if they are given the surcharge basic limit additionally 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, please go for that calculation of tax liability by using the marginal relief only. Here you decided, yes, you got marginal relief. Then what is that procedure for calculating the tax liability? In your exam, they will give you the question like this, ma. How? Sir, total income is 51 lakh. Assessee is following. Yes, clearly here they are given. Assessee exercises the option under section 115 BAC subsection 6. Can you tell me if an assessee is opting the section 115 BAC subsection 6 means, can you tell me he is following the normal tax rates or what rate ma? Normal tax rates only. Remember guys. What is that ma? Assessee having the 42 years of age. But clearly they are given he is exercising this option. That means normally default, if he exercising that option, that means he falls under what normal tax rate or old rates or optional rates. Are you clear? So they are not saying anything about the in question marginal relief. But how can I understood? For individual, basic limits for surcharge is 50 lakh, 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore. Then here 51 lakh is surcharge over and above the basic limit 1 lakh only. So that's why we haven't chances of getting the marginal relief. So that's why please solve the problem in a different format. Computation of tax liability, there are given the tax liability computation requirement. That's why particulars amount. So please remember these steps very important. Step 1. Calculate tax on total income including surcharge. What is the total income given in the question What is the total income given in the question? Please give me reply. 51 lakh. Including surcharge only. Including what surcharge only. I think 51 lakh including surcharge 14 lakh 76,500. So don't consider education says it is a last step after relief So that's why 14 lakh 76,750 we are getting. Now this is a government asking This is a government asking. But we are saying, sir, basic limit is there, sir. On that I will pay the tax including surcharge, but unfortunately 50 lakh related no need to pay surcharge. And extra income over the basic limit, whatever it there, I will give it to you only. Because we are asking this much of amount of tax, I don't want to pay, sir. I will give that entire income to you only. I will give you the entire income to you only. So that's why 1 lakh. So tax on 50 lakh including surcharge. Can you tell me tax on 50 lakh including surcharge how much 13 lakh 12,500 and over and above the basic limit 1 lakh is there. Please add these two things. So how much you will get 14 lakh 12,500. Sir, remember it is capability to pay. It is an capability to pay. Sir, I paid the tax on this 50 lakh. Extra income totally I am giving it to you only. This is my capability. But requirement is this one. Requirement is this one. How can I meet this, sir? That's why here remember here step 1 is more than step 2. Difference between these two steps only. Government given as a marginal relief. Please calculate the differentiation. That's why, sir, no need to pay this one, sir. You can pay the tax on this amount and given that extra amount to me only, we can satisfy. So that's why difference between these two steps only called as what marginal relief. Finally, what is a tax liability, guy? Yes, tax liability, definitely they will ask the first one minus marginal relief. You will get the exactly step 2 answer. For this last step in the tax computation, we have to add health and education cess. Remember. In your exam, how you can identify? Yes, we can get the marginal relief, sir. If surcharge basic limits over and above 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh, if they are given, directly you can decide, yes, we can calculate the tax liability by using marginal relief. Sir, I have some confusion, sir. No problem. I will tell you. Yes, in the next questions, 1 crore 1 lakh can you tell me here we can get marginal relief Definitely, because 1 crore is an what basic limit for surcharge for an individual. Definitely this is an what basic limits for surcharge for an individual. So over and above 1 lakh only there, that's why you will get definitely. Next question I have a different question. Now 2 crore 20 lakh. Now I have a doubt. Sir, you said more than basic limit 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh excess are there. go with the tax computation by using marginal relief concept, sir. But here 20 lakh is there, but still I haven't doubt. Solve the problem as per the steps. Remember, finally, it is your capability. It is your capability. How much you have been capable to pay, ma? 86. How much they are asking, ma? Requirement. So now, need to get marginal relief required here? Not required. Sir, I can pay this amount. They are asking this one only. Here, there is no marginal relief, because when you can get the marginal relief, ma, if step 1 is more than step 2, if step 1 is more than step 2, you will get the what, ma? Marginal relief. They are asking this amount. My capability this one only. How can I pay? Sir, relief they will give. Relief they will give you. But here, if you are observing that because of this amount, you haven't capability of this amount, and the requirement is this one only, there is no marginal relief. You can solve these things also. You can get an idea. Next, 5 crore 1 lakh. Here you have to check the properly. Here you have to check this question properly. Now, I will tell. This question is important, ma. Dhanush, you are asking that important. Yes, definitely this question number 11 is important. Every student needs to solve this question, ma. So I will tell you why this is important also. Question number 11. What is the total income of the Assessee, ma? 5 crore 1 lakh. He is opted the normal tax rate. Yes, 65 years. Now let me know. Normal tax rates related, definitely it is a surcharge basic limit only. Yes, surcharge basic limit only. He is following the normal tax regime. It is a surcharge basic limit or not, ma? Yes. Now they are asking the tax liability, means indirectly you have to take which regime, ma? Indirectly you have to take the which regime, ma? Normal tax rates only. But here we have to do that solution under marginal relief concept. Yes, how you know, sir? Because this is an 5 crore is an basic limits for surcharge under normal tax rates. Now we have to do the problem under marginal relief only. First step 1, tax on total income including surcharge. Step 2, tax on total income, tax on basic limits including surcharge, extra income over the basic limit. Step 3, if step 1 is more than step 2, difference between these two steps only called as marginal relief. Step 4, tax liability minus marginal relief, you will get the what, ma? Tax liability. For that you have to add that health and education cess. But next question is opted the default tax regime, the same Assessee. Having the 5 crore 1 lakh, ma, he is following the default tax regime. Can you tell me, under default tax regime or under the new regime, it is not a basic limit. Remember, it is not a basic limit. 5 crore is not a basic limit. That's why how we can calculate the tax liability, ma? Here no need to follow marginal relief concept. If that is a surcharge basic limit over and above 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh is there, then we can follow here. 5 crore is not a basic limit for surcharge. So now directly we can calculate tax liability. This is a differentiation, ma. Definitely they can test you in this exam. Yes, here clearly I am given basic limits for surcharge for an individual who opted the optional tax rate is 50 lakh, 1 crore or 2 crore only. Here Assessee is 5 crore 1 lakh. So that's why no need to calculate marginal relief. Directly we can compute the what, ma? Tax liability. Directly we computed the tax liability by using the 3 lakh, 3 to 7 lakh, 7 lakh to 10 lakh, 10 to 12 lakh, 12 to 15 lakh, above 15 lakh. Are you clear? So surcharge you can add, and you can add the what, ma? Health and education as also, you will get this tax liability. So this is the same thing, ma. So but here company tax, company related, ma, 1 crore 1 lakh. Can you tell me for domestic company what is the basic limits for surcharge, ma? 1 crore, 10 crore. Over and above 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakh if there. Definitely we have to calculate the tax liability by using the marginal relief only. So that's why here just we have what, ma? 1 crore 1 lakh, more than 1 crore 1 lakh only there. So that's why we can calculate the what, ma? Tax liability by using marginal relief concept. By using marginal relief concept. Are you clear, ma? So then we have one differentiation factors, ma. Differentiation factors. What do you mean by the deduction? What do you mean by the exemption? Exemption means it is not a forming part of total income. Example, agricultural income is there. It is an exempted from the tax. That's why it will not included in our total income. If it is included in our total income, it will be taxable. That's why it will exempt means it will not included in our total income. Assessee is not required to pay the tax on that exempted income. What do you mean by the deduction, sir? I will tell you. Sir, if you haven't that interest income, it will be included in our income from other source. Am I right, ma? But on that interest, we can get some deductions like 80 TTA. First, it will be included in the Assessee's total income. After that, we can give it as a deduction. So that's why it is only called as what, ma? Deduction. Example, chapter 6A deductions. So remember, we haven't deductions. Deduction means not chapter 6A. In every chapter also like PGBP, capital gain and income from other sources, house property, we have a deduction. That means first it will be included in the income. Then after, in order to calculate the net income, we can reduce it from the ESMA income. That is only deduction. Exempted income means it will not forming part of the income. It is an always excluded. No need to pay the tax. Deduction means first it will be included in the gross total income. In order to calculate the net total income, we can reduce it from the what, ma? Gross total income. That is only called as deduction. In our example, we are taken the deductions example as in what, ma? Chapter 6A deduction. That's enough for this chapter. Yes, that's enough for this chapter. Maybe you will get these definitions again in the further chapter, ma? Exemption and deductions example. Yes, are you understood now? All of you, please give me confirmation, ma. I think 10 to 15 students attended for this session. Thank you. And many students are attended for the final. There is a reason, because I'm not concentrating on the CMA enter students for last 2 years. Always CMA final, because revision classes, exam oriented batch and different batches I'm conducting for the CMA final students only. So, but with this revision series, definitely we can reach to the more number of students. But in this chapter, what are the things you have to understand in this chapter? Remember the tax rates. Remember the surcharge rates. Remember the special tax rates. Remember the basic, remember the marginal relief concept. Remember the rebate concept. That's enough. While you are referring again, you have to go with the tax rates. Revise the tax rates. So tax rates, surcharge rates, yes, ma, special tax rates. Okay. While you are revising these things, you have to revise, ma, tax rates. That may be normal tax rates or default tax rates or optional tax rates. Yes, you can revise. Next one. You have to read the rebate concept, ma, and you have to take the marginal relief concept. And next, maximum marginal tax rate concept. Next one, you have to remember rounding off. That's enough. And remaining or nothing but what, ma? Like article numbers 265, 246. And the components of income tax law, sources of income tax law, these are, maybe you can get it as an MCQ. But these are all the things are important. Yes, you have to read these things from this chapter, basic concept. Definitely you will get the 2 to 4 marks. That is in 4 marks definitely. In one attempt they are given the 7 mark question also. Yes, don't ignore. Yes, thank you. Have a nice day. Tomorrow we can meet up with the residential status chapter. In this residential status chapter, I will tell you the theory. Yes, after the theory, I want to solve these all workbook questions. Illustration 1, 2, we have an illustration. Yes, nearly we have an nearly we have an 11 illustrations. I want to solve these 11 illustrations as per the model. What is the weightage of the residential status, ma? Pakka 9 marks. 7 mark descriptive questions. 7 mark descriptive question and 1 MCQ you will get. Yes, one MCQ you will get. So that's why this having the weightage of the 10 marks. So there is a 9 marks. That's why tomorrow we can meet up and we can discuss and we can close this chapter residential status. So now, sir, I don't want to lose that interest. It depends upon number of students, sir. So if I am saying the class example for 100 students, so I will tell you the fact first. First of all, please, tomorrow we'll start the residential status topic, but today you have to revise the basic concepts. Don't give the much importance to this chapter, like overall. Yes, you can revise and you can close. That's enough. Don't do by hurting. Don't spend a lot of hours. Just half an hour you can use and you can close this chapter. Okay. Next, I want to tell you, if I am taking the 100 students strength class, so definitely the 20 students may not be attracted to my class, or maybe they have another activities, they are busy also. So I will take the class. I can consider the strength as an 80 only because they are only interested, they are only dedicated. So that's why I want to take this class for 80 only. So in rare case, if any one student is believing for me, yes, definitely I can take the class for one student only. Don't think about it. Don't think about it because I know already if I am starting that enter. So if I'm starting for inter, definitely the less number of students because I'm not concentrating from last 2 or 3 years. CA final, CMA final, if you are observing, nearly 300 plus students are attending because there is a reason. Because I'm invested my lot of time last 3 years for CMA final only. So no problem. I don't want to bother about the strength. I don't want to bother about the students. I don't want to bother about that attendance also. I will tell you that revision classes as per my schedule. I will upload it in YouTube. You can watch and you can utilize the benefit. But totally I want to solve these workbook questions and keep this workbook as a Xerox in your hands. Thank you. Have a nice day. Yes, thank you. Please continue your preparation with other subjects also. Tomorrow we can meet at the same time, 7.